Gar Nervod. I am Tad Larkin, the lore master of Manda-LORE, and today I'll be digging through the archives to bring you technical readouts and the history of the Super Battle Droid. Manufactured by Bactoid Combat Automata, the B2 series Super Battle Droid is a Class 4 droid used as a heavy infantry droid for the Trade Federation, and later the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Standing at 1.91 meters tall, the B2 series Super Battle Droid, unlike previous iterations of its B1 series predecessor, is not tethered to a droid control ship, and can operate independently. Power cell capacity, recharge rate, and operational range of these droids are currently unknown. However, we do know that advanced gyroscopes in the droid's lower chassis keeps the otherwise top-heavy droids highly mobile, with a wide range of movement along its articulated appendages. An Arsatron-plated duranium and frick armored shell protects the B2 Super Battle Droid's sensitive sensory and transmitting components from small explosive shockwaves, small arms blaster fire, and flamethrowers, and while its carapace isn't completely lightsaber resistant, the frick alloy makes them harder for Jedi to cut through than the older B1 models. The Super Battle Droid's armament consists of wrist-mounted semi- or full-auto twin blaster cannons on the droid's right arm with a secondary tri-shot flechette blaster, while its left arm usually sports a light wrist rocket launcher with a capacity for 3 wrist rockets. Some variants of the B2, such as the B2HA Heavy Assault variant, had an entire heavy rocket launcher assembly mounted on its left arm, allowing the droid to take out tightly packed groups of infantry and lightly armored vehicles. Despite this impressive array of weaponry being directly mounted to the droid, some B2s have been known to carry separate blaster rifles, though given that they don't have fingers, they need a special blaster that can directly interface with the unit's droid brain. In the wake of the failure of the Naboo blockade 32 years before the Battle of Yavin, the Trade Federation was unhappy with the performance of the B1 series battle droids, and attributed the operation's failure to their reliance on a central control ship, as well as the overall flimsiness of the droid's chassis. Though they would eventually retrofit the B1s to be able to operate independently of a centralized control station, the Trade Federation still desired a heavier, more advanced infantry droid, so they contracted the Techno Union to come up with the design. What ensued was the B2 series Super Battle Droid, larger, more durable, and more heavily armed than its B1 predecessor, while still viable for production on a massive scale for the Trade Federation's security forces, and by 28 BBY, the design was approved for production through Bactoid Combat Automata, a subsidiary of Bactoid Industries. The first test of these new Super Battle Droids were on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, when the Wookiee Trade Guild refused to pay taxes levied by the Trade Federation for all shipping traveling through the Mytaranor sector. Count Dooku, as his Sith alter ego, Darth Tyrannus, led a force of B2s to the Wookiee Trade Guild's headquarters in the Wawat Archipelago and slaughtered the unsuspecting guild members. Though they passed their first trial by fire with flying colors, the true test of the Super Battle Droids would not come until the outbreak of the Clone Wars, when they would go up against the conventional army for the first time, rather than planetary security forces and armed natives. With the formation of the Confederacy of Independent Systems in 24 BBY, the B2 Super Battle Droid became the mainstay heavy infantry droid for the CIS military, and while the Battle of Geonosis was an overall loss, the droid performed as designed. Due to the low cost and ease of manufacturing the B1 series, the B2s were not produced in as great of numbers as the B1s were, and although the B1s were now classified as light infantry, they still made up a bulk of the CIS armed forces. For the clone troopers of the Grand Army of the Republic, especially the clone commandos, the B2s were a formidable foe, in some cases proving tougher to take down than the shielded Droideka destroyer droids that force even some Jedi to tactically withdraw. The B2 series, along with its variants, would go on to participate in many of the famous battles of the Clone Wars, such as Kamino, Dantooine, Unilinst, Hypori, Jabim, Mykeedo, Coruscant, Kashyyyk, Felucia, among many, many others. The B-2s proved so effective that as the war dragged on, the Techno-Union built upon the basic chassis design of the B-2 for more advanced and specialized droids, such as the dreaded B-3 Ultra Battle Droid and the lightsaber-resistant CB-3 Cortosis Battle Droid. At the end of the war, following the execution of the Separatist leaders by Darth Vader on Mustafar, the B-2s, as well as the rest of the CIS droid forces in the galaxy, were shut down from a master control signal. However, this would not be the end of the B-2 model's service record. While the Confederacy itself was no more, many systems in the Outer Rim held on to the ideals and beliefs in planetary autonomy that the CIS was founded on, and reactivated some of their local droid forces, some of which consisted of B-2 super battle droids. A majority of these CIS holdouts were dealt with during the reconquest of the Rim, a series of protracted campaigns by the newly established Galactic Empire to stamp out dissident and rebellious planets and systems from 19 BBY to around 16 BBY. In one famous battle, a Geonosian named Gizor Delso found and reactivated a sizable droid army on Mustafar, and even managed to procure an old Providence-class cruiser for his flagship, so the stormtroopers of the 501st Legion were sent in once again to face off with the super battle droids they fought during the Clone Wars. Due to Bactoid's liquidation following the establishment of the Galactic Empire, the Super Battle Droids, along with every other droid model produced for the CIS, ceased production, and the few models that remained in storage were salvaged and sold on the black market to organized crime syndicates such as the Hutts. The resurgent Mandalorian Death Watch bought several of them to guard their bunker on the forest moon of Endor, but those were taken out by a group of unknown spacers under orders from Boba Fett. After Emperor Palpatine's death at the Battle of Endor in 4 ABY and the subsequent fragmentation of the Galactic Empire, a few Imperial warlords utilized remaining B-2 Super Battle Droid units to bolster the forces of their miniature empires. The last recorded usage of B-2 units in combat was during the Yuuzhan Vong War, when the Galactic Alliance approved for a platoon of them to be used by the Orange Panthax in the defense of the planet Mantessa. Though this once formidable heavy battle droid is now an obsolete antique, the B-2 series super battle droid remains an icon of CIS military might in the eyes of galactic historians and Class 4 droid enthusiasts. This ends my findings on Super Battle Droids. If you have any suggestions for future transmissions, don't be afraid to drop a comment. Special thanks to my patrons, Wildcat144, Zexend, JTribs1997, Wirefox Terrier, Dave the Grave, Zim the Despot, Matt Patton, Trav, Hawk2274, Cal Scarata, Angry Mutt, Chris Evans, Mayo4, and Epileptic Zebra. If you'd like to support this channel and perhaps even commission your own video topic, please visit my Patreon to find out how. Link is in the description. In the meantime, keep your comm channels open for future transmissions, and don't forget to subscribe. Tad Larkin, out.